Hello everybody and welcome back to Danganronpa Antebellum Lockdown. Last time, Shinku and Zeke kinda became pals a little bit for like at least 5 minutes. They might backslide, but hopefully they don't. Anyways, we're gonna go shit talk Fu now. 10 hours. Shinku, do something for once and smother him in his sleep, please. My head. Morning. Huh? What time is it? Early. You should take this. The hell are you? No shit, thanks, kid. I miss these sprites. Fu rolled over and reached out to take the water I was holding, moving his hand to his head and letting out a groan, laying back. What are you doing here? What do you want? You agreed someone would stay with you. Guess you're doing whatever you can to get any grace with the rest of the team, with the rest of them, huh? This isn't about me. I've got some questions for you. You're nuts if you think you can play shrink to your captor. Is that how British people spell captor? How often have you been drinking, Fu? What's it to you? I don't think that's any of your business. We found you passed out in the hall. That's a lot even for someone like you. Quite frankly, it's also a terrible idea if you were running this. You left yourself incredibly vulnerable. Well, God forbid a guy have his fun now. He doesn't have to save face. I've just been drinking as much as I like. Got a problem with that. Are you drinking 24/7? Where'd you get that from? Of course he played, oh, I don't know, maybe the countless bottles I found hidden under your desk in here? Well, nowhere else to put them now. I'm not the one who chose to have the incinerator locked off. I don't see why you care so much, kid. I'm not exactly your pal or whatever. Don't delude yourself into thinking you get me to free you, though. Get me to free you through love or empathy or the power of friendship or whatever you kids are into these days. When did this start? On this level? I know it was bad before, but it was never this bad. After you came out about things, he wasn't going to give me an answer, and I knew it. He probably wouldn't even admit he was drinking, but I thought I could test my luck. I just wanted to figure out what was going on inside his head. If he was doing extremely poorly, it did not bode well for his future treatment of us, so I wanted to get ahead of any potential issues with him. After Takiko's death, he still didn't say a word, but his demeanor seemed to shift slightly as I mentioned her. I sat there in silence, hoping that not saying anything further would force him to speak. And to my surprise, he eventually did, avoiding eye contact with me. Do you think there's a world out there where she was able to find happiness? Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but it certainly wasn't that. Where girls like her could be free. I felt my fist clench hearing him, of all people, ask that. And I hardly had the right to get mad at what he was saying, considering my own perception of everything until yesterday. I hope there is. There should be. Otherwise, I think we might really be doomed. I couldn't bite my tongue. Why did you bring her into the game in the first place if you didn't want that to happen to her? He immediately snapped his gaze to me, his tone sharpening. I took a step back instinctively. Listen, kid. I've made a whole lot of bad choices without thinking about them, but that's one choice I'd never make. I'd never choose to have her here. Then who did choose it? Who decided it was okay for any of us to be here? Choices. We make them all the time. But they're funny little things, you know? You never really know if you've made the right choice, no matter what you do. Because no matter how convinced you are that you do, you'll never know for sure how things could have turned out if you did, or said something differently. Yet they matter so much. Everyone who died so far has been because someone along the line had made a choice. Guess that goes without saying, but it's crazy how your own choices can affect so many other people. Kinda makes it unbearable to live sometimes, don't you think? You keep avoiding questions. I knew he was intentionally diverting the subject, but still. I hate this motive. I feel like no matter what I do, I'm making the wrong choice at every turn. You're not the one deciding anything, kid. The doc is. But I'm still making choices and none of them feel good. I feel like I'm tied between two worlds, and trying to play the middle ground is just causing more tension to arise. Well, there's no right or wrong choices. There's just the choices you make in life. And if you can live with them and see them through to the end, at least not run away from the consequences of whatever choices you've made, then I think that's what counts. Being so scared of what the future could hold that you end up making no choice at all just keeps you stuck where you are. Nothing will change unless you take the initiative yourself. You don't make any sense to me. Letting the world move around you and refusing to stand up for anything or anyone because you're scared of consequences from either side doesn't make much sense to me. But it seems to be the Shinkyu special, huh? Oh, don't give me that look, kid. Isn't the first time I've brought up you fence-sitting, and definitely won't be the last if you keep going like this. Ever since we've gotten here, you've refused to take a stance on anything until it's way too late. Always half-heartedly supporting the audience's verdicts without ever fully disagreeing or agreeing with them. It feels like you can't form a solid opinion to save your life. Oh well, that's not fair. I think you can form a solid opinion quite easily. Now voicing it, that's where you have issues, isn't it? What does that have to do with anything? Come on. It's just cozy to stay in that space in the mail, huh? Never upsetting anyone, but never standing up for anyone until it's way too late. That's not... Be the bigger person here. Don't want to get in trouble. Just let him rattle on you, Shinko. He's just trying to aggravate you. Don't let it get to you. Excluding anything that's ugly doesn't fit into the nice boxes you shoved people in. You couldn't even recognize that Molly was the type to have done the suicide pact when you learned she did it. Well, you couldn't step up and have a solid chance. You couldn't step up and have a solid stance for Molly until she was already dead. Never mind. I didn't realize how easily my hand moved on its own and slapped Fu clean across the face. There. Is that enough of a stance for you? Get your act together. Stop running your mouth about my issues when it's more than clear you've got a whole heap of them hiding below your desk. You might be happy stagnating and backpedaling, but I'm going to do better. I'll step up. So don't you dare say anything about her when she was able to improve more in a few weeks than you have in your 35 years on this planet. I was stunned I'd managed to muster the courage or drive to do that in the first place. Maybe it was just the adrenaline pushing me before I had a chance to properly consider my actions. A wave of dread almost immediately washed over me. I was expecting him to punish me or Mononeko to appear, but instead... He smiled at me. His eyes lighting up a little bit weirdly enough. He seemed almost proud? What's so funny? I know you had it in you, kid. I blinked at him for a bit, trying to figure out what exactly he meant by that. Now I just wish the others could do the same. What do you... Before I could question Fu further, the door to his cell opened, an unexpected figure standing in the way, looking at us both. I knew I could hear something. But this is a little surprising. Dr. Elenia sits... Kutsuki, you're coming with me. Looks like someone is in trouble. Don't put ideas in his head. He's not. I just have a few questions. I felt a pit in my stomach. Had she caught our night meetings? Is that a problem? No, not at all. Good, I'm glad you're being sensible about this. Follow me. Let's check the stock and medicine storage together. Ensure nothing is unaccounted for. Alright. Good luck, kid. Looks like you're gonna need it. Thanks. Bro's in some trouble with the teacher. I followed Dr. Linnaeus to the medicine storage. My throat growing dry as she took me there. I knew it was unlikely she meant anything malicious, but I couldn't help but feel nervous about it. I just wish she'd tell me what it was about that would stop this terrible knot of anxiety in my stomach. But that was... Oh, or at least speak on the journey over there, instead of letting us stay in this terrible silence. We entered the room, and she closed the door behind her. So, what should we start accounting for? We're not actually counting stock, Kutsuge. Ah, I see. Typically, if I need to question someone, I take them to the showers in the morning, since it can easily be passed off as me just helping those who can't operate them alone and helping them. But your lack of verdict would make that suspicious. Question someone? It's best to do these things in private, I find. That doesn't really clear things up here. Let's just cut to the chase. Well, before I do that, I have a new question. What were you doing in Wang's cell, Kutsuki? Well, she does deserve to know, but I don't know how many details I can realistically give her without giving away the night meetings. I know she'll question it if I tell her I was walking around last night, but I'd feel awful making another lie just to cover my tracks. I really do not like breaking Dr. Melania's trust whatsoever. I especially don't want to do it after I already did so yesterday. One of the few people left here she can trust, and if that's breached, who knows how severe she could get. She might actually become the strict enforcer just waiting to enact her power that everyone keeps trying to frame her as. And I don't want that. I want to prove people wrong. But I know I have to tell one small white lie to cover for the others, and not get them in trouble. Even if they didn't have the best opinion of me, I did agree to stand with them. So if it's to protect their peace... I was headed to the shower block last night, since I'd lost track of time and forgotten to shower earlier. Forgive me, Dr. Linnaeus. When I found Fu passed out in the middle of the hallway. What? It was really bizarre. He was completely blackout drunk. I think he's been drinking almost 24/7 the last few days. There was all sorts of bottles hidden in his cell. I helped get him back to his cell and stayed there overnight. I know you wanted us all to stick to our own cells and apologize if I broke your trust there, but I thought if I caught him in the morning, I'd be able to interrogate him about finding him there. Were you able to get any relevant information? Just a lot of non-answers, really. Sounds about correct for Wang. Unfortunately, I apologize I couldn't get any more information. Dr. Linnaeus let out a sigh and looked at me. It's fine. This really shouldn't be your job, Kutsuki. Please try to be more careful next time, in the future. I understand we're all eager to escape, but sticking your noses in places it doesn't belong could lead to putting your life at risk. I really do not want to lose you, or anyone else here, but this paired with your delinquency yesterday with Elias. It's very unlike you. Try to be cautious and smart about this, Kutsuki. Please. Right. I will. Now, on to what I was initially planning on asking you about. You are aware of your current position, aren't you, Kutsuki? Huh? What do you mean? Out of everyone alive, you are the last unjudged prisoner. This puts you in a precarious position. Right. The only crimes that hadn't been revealed yet were Fu, Dracul's, and my own. I wasn't sure if Fu counted anymore due to the recent revelations about him, and Dracul wouldn't live to see the consequences of his crime being outed. I'm aware, but I'm uncertain about what about that is risky. Out of everyone here, I cannot account for what you've done. With everyone else, I can have vague ideas of their behaviors and potential risk factors that may lead them to make a drastic decision. But the uncertainty of your situation makes you something of a liability. Ah, I see. Kutsuki, you have seen me at my worst. I have already been condemned for my actions. I am in no position to judge you. I need you to understand that. If you could disclose your crime to me, that would be of great assistance. You want him to tell you his crime so you can control people better. control him better. What? I understand the futility of asking you this, since I know it's likely you will lie, but I'd greatly appreciate your honesty and cooperation here. I promise you I only want to know this for your benefit and safety. I just want to account for any potential possibilities or complications that could jeopardize our continued survival. This is an unfair position, Dr. Elenius. If I don't disclose anything, you'll certainly assume the worst. I do not intend it to be. If you wish to stay quiet, that's your prerogative. I will not push the topic any further. But you have the power over me here. You could detain me at any moment or restrict my food further, or... You don't think I would do that, would you? Kutsuki, please, out of everyone. You still believe I'm only trying to help you, don't you? I do, I'm just nervous. I don't know. Don't think this is going a bit too far. You can't completely control and account for everything other people will think or feel, but I can try. I have to try. That's better than doing nothing. I understand you have good intentions here, but I think you're not going to be happy with the person you'll become in the process. I accepted a long time ago that in order to do what I had to, I couldn't be a good person. You cannot do these kinds of experiments. You cannot reduce lives to subjects and weigh their value of individual lives against one another, while still believing you are a good person, no matter what your intentions. The cognitive dissonance would ruin you. But you don't have to be a bad person. I hardly deserve a second chance after everything I've done. After Taka. The only thing I can do now is ensure you all stay alive for as long as possible. Even if you hate me, that's all I can do to even start to make up for it. Do you really think that? Is that why you haven't taken out the earpiece? I guess when reality has completely rejected everything you spent your whole life doing, it's easier to hide away in fantasy. Bum. Bum, 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 bum. Draco was like that. Molly too. But, you know, she was only really able to grow when she stopped hiding in her fantasies and instead faced reality. It's different. I'm not hiding. Then what are you doing? This isn't about me. I'm asking for your cooperation here, Kutsuki. Dr. Elenius, please. I want to help. Dr. Elenius took a step away from me after staring at me for what felt like an eternity, letting out a deep sigh and pinching the bridge of her nose. I've done something awful, Kutsuki. It can't be worse than anything we've seen you do. It is. Let me make this clear. This does not leave this room, not under any circumstances. Of course, you can trust me, Dr. Elenius. I'd like to think I could, but these last few days... She looked at me once again, as if she was debating if it was really a good idea to disclose this all to me. But like it or not, I think you're the person here I can trust the most. And even if telling you isn't ideal, I cannot keep the weight of this on my chest any longer. I need to confess what I've done. You're scaring me a little. I apologize, but I'd rather you did speak about it. So whatever it is, I promise not to tell the others. After the last trial, after my verdict, I made a deal with the wardens, with Mana Neko. What? Let me establish first and foremost here, it was not to harm any of you, quite the contrary, really. Then what was it? In return to having whatever the next motive was to disproportionately affect me more than the others, I asked them to update my earpiece, to train a second model off of their footage of Taka. My God! Oh. If the others knew that, they'd certainly be upset, but more alarmingly, her verdict made it so she really hadn't changed at all. She was just driving deeper into her unhealthy coping mechanisms. I knew it wasn't my business, but that broke my heart. Well, did it make you feel any better? Truthfully, it makes me feel awful, Kutsuke. Every single time I hear his voice again, I feel like I'm going to be sick knowing what I've taken from this world. It takes a lot of mental energy to not burst into tears every time he activates. Then why don't you take it out? Leave behind Dr. Elenius. I know you can. Come on. I couldn't possibly. I've made it so I cannot hide in fantasy. Instead, I must hide from it. Focus on my reality to not face the damage my fantasies have done. I deserve that misery, that sick feeling in my chest. It helps me remind myself that my situation is by no means unfair. It is all something I've brought onto myself. Now the responsibility falls on me to make sure we can all leave safely despite the best attempts from the audience and the wardens to keep us here. They may view this motive as disproportionately putting a target on me specifically, but I see it as one final chance to make things right. I cannot afford to make mistakes now. If I can lead us out of here safely, then I'll take it out. Then I'll free myself from the past. And if you just die before that point, then at least I tried. You don't need to torture yourself in the process, Dr. Elenius. That's going a little too far, don't you think? It's a bit foolish. Then maybe I am. Listen to yourself. You're putting your own pride before your humanity. Do you think Taka would have wanted this? I clearly never knew what he wanted. That's what got me to this point in the first place. So what does it matter? Then do it for him now. Treat yourself how he would have treated you. Live how he'd want you to, as the person he knew you as. There's far too much on the line now to give myself that much grace. Are you really willing to die as Dr. Elenius and not Allura? Have I really ever been Allura? Since the beginning of this? No, even before this, I was Dr. Elenius, first and foremost, before I was my own person. I was your potential for escape, organizer, a tool to make your life more bearable. The second I showed you how flawed I really was, all the childish and pathetic parts of me that make me Allura, and not just some machine, I was rejected. Everyone has made it clear what they need me to be, so that's what I'll be for everyone. If they hate me in the process, then so be it. Allura! Let's go, Kutsuke. It's clear you're not going to disclose your crime to me. That's fine. I won't force you. We should make our way to the canteen. The others are waiting. Allura moved to the door, waiting for me to follow, but stopped as I opened my mouth one last time. I would have really liked you to meet her. What? That's not what he said. I would have really liked to meet her. I hope when we're all out of here, I'll get the chance. She seemed to falter for a moment. Don't give me false hope, Kutsuke. Well, now I'm sad. This is Ismene's fault somehow. The silence that fell between us returned as we made our way to the canteen, where everyone else had already gathered. Maybe feasting so much last night was a bad idea. Our portions for breakfast seemed even smaller in comparison to that. I knew I'd feel hungry in about half an hour. But we had bigger things to worry about, namely whatever condition Allura would have to pick today. Thank you for making breakfast. I do appreciate it. I hope the guides were sufficient. For everyone's compensation today, orange juice. Is that it? Well, no one had any suggestions. I mean, I guess it could be worse. Bits or no bits? How the fuck can you deal with riding a motorcycle shirtless through flaming chainsaws or whatever, but can't deal with bits? Oh, shut the hell up. I'm not the one who always needs to be doing something or she explodes. At least those two seem to be doing slightly better. I didn't know. It was hard to tell with them. Either way, we've been without direct sunlight for multiple months now. Orange juice should give you certain essential nutrients you are most likely lacking. Thank you. At the very least, it's refreshing. I'll attempt to make a better reward tomorrow. I apologize that I'm not the most creative. I just hope our work today isn't too hard. Hopefully the conditions don't throw any major curveballs at us. Oh, right, yes, the conditions! I almost forgot! As if on cue, the cat appeared in front of us. But... where's Phil? Oh, he's up in, so none of him today. We're returning back to the basics this morning, just me and you guys. It's like old times again, isn't it? Ah, how nostalgic. We've come so far. Speaking of nostalgia, I thought we'd do a bit of a comeback with today's potential conditions. Bring back some old fan favorites. I think that's a little hard considering most of them are, you know, dead. Oh, no, not that. If we did that, people would have all sorts of complaints. Not to mention it's impossible, unless you want to pull it over Elenius. Let's stop the pointless insults. Just tell me the options for today. We can either bring back the hostage motive and have all the hostages of those currently alive go through another consequence, or there first. What? No way, you already! Or you can choose to have all the truths from one day to 4 of those currently alive out in the open. But then everything we did, all those dares, they'd be for nothing. But if Allura doesn't pick the truths to be outed, our hostages, they'd... We already saw how severe the level 1 consequences were. Considering it would be Shinku, Lyra, and Ezekiel's hostage's second consequence, it's almost certain we might have another life on our conscience if we chose that. If they haven't already faced the consequences in the first place. With how quickly they produced those videos, it's all but confirmed they're all pre-recorded. Try to burst everyone's bubble, but anything they could do to our hostages, they've likely already faced. I trust your judgment there, but are you really willing to risk that you're wrong? I just really don't want to risk it. I don't want to hurt Nico. Saint Hill, are you not the one who left him in his current situation in the first place? Well, yeah, but just because I messed up there doesn't mean I want to make him anything actively worse for him. But are you prepared to have your secrets outed to the world? Of course! They've already seen my crime and said it was okay. They did not say it was okay. I've got nothing else to hide. Anything that they could dig up about me, I stand by. Suppose if you had nothing to hide, you'd be okay with your truths being outed. Well, I don't really see anyone exactly jumping to have their secrets out in the open. Understand the hostage thing. Trust me, if it would make you more comfortable, then I guess we could air our dirty laundry. But neither of these options are, you know, good. That's kind of the point of a motive. Hate to break it to you. What does it matter? Practically all of our crimes have already been exposed. Our secrets surely cannot make our reputations any worse. Well, all our crimes aside from... But surely you wouldn't argue in favor of getting everyone's loved ones hurt in exchange for preserving his reputation? Would you, Shinku? Given how everyone's eyes were on me, I didn't really feel like I could say no in that situation. But if my Day 4 truth came out, then there was absolutely no way any of them would ever see me the same again. More importantly, given her history with Dakota, any small possibility I did have of making amends with this many would be completely shattered. But if I argued, I'd be causing more issues. It would probably raise more questions. I hated this. It felt like it felt just like back when they picked Ichi for the hostage motive. But before I could say anything, Allura spoke up. It's not worth arguing this. Not risking any more potential casualties in or outside the game. At least we know what's coming if we pick to have all our truths outed. The same cannot be said for picking the hostages. So, is that your decision? Picking to have your truths outed? Yes, I'm sure. Even after all the hard work you put in with the acid to hide your fourth truth? Don't remind me. Well, if that's your decision, then that's it. It's not like we have to look at one another's truth. We could all agree to just ignore them. You seriously think no one would try to sneak a peek? I think this could be a wonderful opportunity for some bonding, actually. How about we have a look through them together? In front of everyone? Oh, God. Of course, it's like Santiago said, if you've got nothing else to hide, that shouldn't be an issue, should it? This really is not ideal. Well, it's what you choose. You have to live with the consequences of your actions. And really, I think this could be wonderfully enlightening. Shall we begin? Before any of us got a chance to have any say in it, Mononeko immediately slapped down a piece of paper on the table. One with my name written on top of it. Oh, God. My mouth immediately went dry.
Ta-da! Not too many surprises here. He wasn't exactly the best at getting his dares done, was he? Well, ignoring the obvious elephant of day 4, no wonder he managed to do his dare that day. Oh well, too bad it was for nothing.
You did... what?
And that's not your crime?
The fuck could it possibly be then?
It's part of it. I really don't want to talk about it.
Whatever it is, I'll leave you to discuss that later. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but we've got even more to get through. Lyra, let's see those truths you were so desperate to hide that you were willing to complete all your dares, no matter how extreme.
It's not your real name. Oh! You used to harass and bully your sibling and other children your age to the point you were ostracized from your family and were forced to leave. You had an abortion right after a relationship you had with an older man resulting in pregnancy. You once sat and watched someone overdose in front of you, not attempting to help or intervene at all.
Wow, that's...
We don't have to talk about it.
Lai, are you...
I'm good. I just... I really didn't want this stuff to get out. I don't like thinking about it. I don't like people knowing all this shit from when I was younger. It feels invasive.
Hey, it's all right. We don't gotta bring it up anymore.
Right. I mean, the last one is a little concerning, but...
I mean, considering her track record, she could very well have been incredibly high.
I was just being selfish. I was scared of getting arrested. I was like 17 or some shit.
Or not.
What was I meant to do?
I mean, she could have also still been high.
Back in those days, yeah, of course I was going to be selfish. At the end of the day, no one's life mattered to me more than my own. He was a roof over my head, a meal, and a bit of entertainment. That sounds awful, but it's how it was. When I saw his body, my first thought wasn't, oh god, he died. It was, oh god, I can't stay in this apartment for much longer.
How old was he?
That's really what you thought?
Back then, I just assumed everyone else saw me the same way I saw them. Most friendship or relationships I had back then were pretty transactional. It was pretty hard to care about people, and I just assumed they didn't really give a shit about me at the end of the day. If you get too attached, you were just setting yourself up for getting hurt when they pulled some insane shit or left you. That's just how I felt back then. If I could be discarded as spoiled goods the second I got inconvenient, they could too. It made sense to me back then, as messed up as that sounds. Sorry, it's ugly, I know. But I couldn't bring myself to make up some sort of lie or excuse. You deserve to see it for what it is.
Even if it's ugly, I want to know about it. 'Cause you're my friend. And one or two ugly parts doesn't make you rotten to the core. It just makes you human.
Suppose it does. Guess we've all done some pretty messed up shit, huh?
Let's just move on to Elias's.
Alrighty. Let's see if this'll help knock him down a few more pegs. He has been all confident lately.
Ever since you've always been preoccupied in church sermons thinking about the truth, nature of Jesus and Judas's relationship. Always inevitably fixating on the homoerotic undertones. You willingly left Michael alone in an environment that was practically a living hell for him. Before going to Hope's Peak, you're an extremely violent person who would sometimes beat fellow students until they needed to be hospitalized. A sick part of you adores how your electrical scars match the ones Michael sustained from his electrotherapy. Wow! Well, we knew that third one, but still, there's a lot more Michael than I was expecting. And if I wasn't scared of what Ezekiel's reaction could potentially be, I'd question the first one. But it wasn't much of a surprise considering how he'd been acting around Mint.
Michael, you're hostage? Hey, come on, you can't hold yourself fully responsible for that. I'm sure you were just a kid trying your best.
He left me, as far as I'm concerned.
I suppose that was easy for Asuka to say when they'd left their brother in an allegedly harmful situation as well.
I wasn't aware you had electrical scars.
I got them from a stunt a while back. They stretch out over most of my back.
Oh.
Oh, this makes me wonder if you got them intentionally.
Oh, that's... okay, I'm not sure about that one.
Whatever happened between the two of you? How deluded do you have to be to find comfort in matching scars?
I'm pretty sure Miss Minute was trying to do something similar with her classmate, but I bit my tongue. It was best not to start anything.
Shut the hell up. Don't act like you know anything about me, Isabel. I bet there's something real messed up on yours.
Oh, please. You can't seriously be that immature.
Yes, you can.
Let us just proceed to mine. I'd rather get it over and done with. Besides, none of Elias's are particularly shocking.
What's that meant to mean?
You're gay.
Aye, Warden. Let's see why exactly you were willing to give yourself a little acid shower.
Despite your stoic nature, you have an extensive doll collection. You can easily endorse research resolving
I have
abuse.
nothing more to hide. You've all already seen the worst of me.
You're horrible with loss. Using chatbot AI technology, you created a replication of your dead friend without her consent. Furthermore, you're unable to function without it. Your work has helped develop bioweapons that may be used in the future to harm innocent civilians. Alora! Well, yes, it wasn't anything we didn't know already, or couldn't infer from everything else going on.
Does anyone have anything to say? I'd rather clear things up now.
I just don't know how you can live with yourself.
I cannot change what I've done in the past, but I can at least keep all of you alive for as long as possible, to at least try to rectify some of my mistakes.
If you really wanted to make it seem like you were making a proper effort to change, you take out that earpiece.
Let's just move on to Cersei's.
Right, our favorite little Nepo baby. Let's see what else you could possibly have hidden in your closet.
Ismene, as a teen, you used to repeatedly fantasize of being a goddess.
Wait, hold on. You've got a fiancé? Hello? Why have you not mentioned this before?
You don't love your fiancé and never will. You'll be willing to cheat on him without a hesitation if a better person came along. In high school, you got a girl expelled for failing her for cheating. Your whole life has been funded by blood money. Your family's fortune originating from the exploitation of others and the extraction of natural resources from lands that were never your own.
I hardly think that's relevant here.
Of course not. Especially when she's willing to cheat on him at any given opportunity.
Hey now, let's not be too harsh on her. It's not like she actually did cheat.
Yeah, it would be a little ridiculous to give her more shit for potential cheating than Allura let us give Shinku for driving his sister to suicide.
I'm just going to attempt to defend Ismene here, but it might be best to shut my mouth for now.
I think we're sort of brushing over the blood money thing here. I think that's a little more important.
Well, I certainly didn't have any say in that. I wasn't the one who initially exploited them. I don't believe it's a crime to be born into money. I didn't ask for it.
Did you do anything to help the situation?
I wasn't even aware of it until I was well into being an adult, and even then I suppose I just never really thought about it. It's just how I've always lived.
Ismene, at a certain point, you become complicit.
I guess it's not really any different to you, Everything you value in your life is the result of these sorts of systems of exploitation. Well, everything you value that you still have, that your actions hadn't caused to shatter. You're such a silly little girl. Now, it doesn't really matter, but he's taken a lot of steps to even the playing field for you, so let's divulge Fu's truths.
I don't really see the point in that. It's unlikely any of them are anything more than lie.
Yeah, he probably just made up a load of bullshit.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to take a look anyway.
Still not really able to get a good night's sleep when you're able to hear your mother's lullabies? You've ruined a smaller... Okay, you were the reason the marriage fell apart, and you'll never meet anyone you love quite like her ever again. You only gained your ultimate through blackmailing, extorting an influential politician you are dirt on. Your talent, for all intents and purposes, is fraudulent. Well, that first one was almost endearing? I don't know why he worked so hard to do his first dare that day. No one would have given him scrutiny if that ever came out. I guess he just needed an excuse to get a saw out of his cell from that day onwards. To get out of his cell. But even so, looking at these, I couldn't shake the feeling that...
I do not know how much insight we can possibly glean from these.
Depends if they're true or not. But there's not really a way to confirm or deny that, huh?
Either way, I doubt anything here is particularly relevant. I don't believe any of this information would be useful, even if it was true.
Might give us more insight as to why he's doing this at the very least.
If he really is doing this.
Huh? What do you mean?
Never mind. Guess I'm just skeptical and shit.
Let's just move on to our most worthy prisoner alive, Asuka! What could someone so perfect and deserving of redemption have possibly done that they wanted to hide?
Hey, I only completed my dare one of the days. I'm an open book compared to some of the others.
Yes, you're very lucky Takiko decided to lose it before you'd have to cover for your day 4 truth, aren't you?
Don't put it like that.
Let's take a look at your truths, Asuka.
High score you found was 40%. Back in child model, you reported the other kids around you, and your comments will
Kidnapping.
routinely damage their
Forgive me for asking, but
self-image greatly. You left your little brother. From a legal standpoint, you could be charged for multiple cases of kidnapping minor members of your circus.
It's not like that. It's just because I didn't have legal custody of the minors who chose to join the troop, alright? But it was all their choice. If I hadn't taken them in and let them join us, who knows what would have happened to them? They clearly weren't happy before. I just wanted to give them somewhere they could be. And besides, I didn't want to leave anyone behind again after Nico.
I can believe it. I don't think you did anything wrong.
Okay, I think they did a few things wrong.
Who cares? All that child modeling shit was in the past. Besides, it was probably just the industry.
You can't use the industry as an excuse.
oh, of course you'd be fine because it was the industry. Have you seriously learned nothing?
That's different. I can understand the position they were in during it. Besides, they were just a kid.
It was a little concerning, even if Ezekiel had started to acknowledge the errors of his ways, how much he seemed to be enabling Asuka. I stayed quiet for the most part out of part out of fear of being ostracized, especially with how severe those meetings could be. But I was certain that it eventually would reach a boiling point.
But that's a wrap. I think we've all learned a whole bunch about each other, haven't we? Isn't that fun?
Mononoke left all the papers on the table for people to return to and look over later as they let out a small purr and hopped off the table themselves. I'll leave all the mull over those. I'm sure that it's given you all a lot to think about. Oh, I sure do hope you won't break apart what little unity you were starting to build back between you. That would be terrible. Oh, shut up. Bye-bye, prisoners. See you tomorrow. The cat hopped through the vents, leaving us all alone in the canteen. And a silence fell over all of us for a moment before Laura started to speak. Well, now that's done with this, I think we should move on to the labor assignments. What? No way. How can we just move past that? Are you insane? I think a bit of fucking discussion needs to be had. We can't just ignore that shit. Everyone has things they regret in the past. I think we can leave this discussion here, as long as we agree that our collective survival is more valuable than any petty disputes or disagreements that arise from this. We should be fine. In all due respect to Laura, I think not discussing these is going to lead to more conflict down the line. It might be best to clear up any misconceptions now. Kutsuki, do you of all people really wish to have your secrets addressed? Well, yes, actually, Shinku. I think we've all got a few questions for you. It's really complicated. I don't think I can even start to explain. It's not like I meant to. I meant to or not, you still did it. Hey, I hate to play devil's advocate here, but remember those secrets? These secrets are intentionally phrased in a way to make them sound as bad as possible. Takiko's Day 3 one made it sound like she killed her mom, when it was just that her ma died giving birth to her. And that kidnapping one, it makes me sound way more malicious than I am. This is probably a really sensitive subject for Shinku. I mean, his sister died. Just ganging up on him before he has a chance to explain isn't going to help him at all. I suppose you're right, but you would be remiss to believe you don't have any right to be a little concerned about this all. I'll explain when I'm ready, I promise. It's all still very fresh. We lost her only about a month before I got taken here. That period of time before the game is all a bit blurry to me. It was horrible. But I didn't mean to. I thought I could finally make things right. I was going to her room to try to talk about it when I found the note. Dude, it's okay. Don't force yourself. You can talk about it when you're ready to talk about it. Can't seriously be defending him. You can't exactly say anything yourself about having lives on your hands, can you? Well, judging from that last secret, neither can you. And you can forgive me for it? Well, yeah, 'cause you're lie. We all make stupid choices when we're scared or emotional or whatever. I can give you the benefit of the doubt there's context missing here. People don't just watch others die like that, not unless you're crazy. And I know for sure you're not crazy. Then you can give the benefit of the doubt for this as well. Shinku can tell his shit when he's ready, but I don't think this is gonna make him an active threat or anything. Yeah, I do feel like, objectively speaking, Lyra has done worse and ruined more lives. If you can forgive Lyra, at least you can at least give the benefit of the doubt to Shinku. See, come on, nice right. Right now, this stuff isn't important. We're not going to judge you for yours. You wouldn't judge us for ours, so let's be stronger than this. Unfortunately, all these conditions are in place to actively deter us from working together and instigate as much interpersonal conflict as possible. You are more than welcome to hold your own opinions of everyone here and their actions, but we are all worthy of life. With various areas of the prison getting restricted and conditions here getting more severe, we could do it with as many hands as possible. No matter your reason, letting this conflict blind you in the moment and taking drastic action would be foolish. If you let that happen, I'd be forced to take measures I'd really rather not do. You'd really do that? If it could save a life, then yes, I'd do it in a heartbeat, especially after seeing how these secrets drove someone to kill in the past. Right! If we start getting all stuck on these silly secrets and start treating each other differently because of it, things are bound to go south. Which is stupid, because all of this could be sorted out with just trying to understand each other. Well, I think even you make exceptions to who you choose to be understanding towards. Plus, once again, this game does everything in its power to make all of us sound as bad as possible, to dehumanize us as much as possible. Like, I hardly deserve to be here one bit, I know that, but you wouldn't know that from my crime. They made me sound like a monster. Well, yeah, I agree with that. Exactly! But only because, like, I don't really think any of us deserve to be in a murder-death game prison. But maybe that's just me. I don't think there's any issue with pointing out how unfair this situation is, but if you keep putting yourself above everyone else here morally, then... I don't know, Asu, I think you're just going to make the prison more unfair in the process. Huh? Listen, I'm saying this because I care about you, man. But you can't just keep brushing all your own shit under the rug. You're by no means a perfect person. I know that, but there's a difference between intentionally committing some crime and just breaking a few silly rules to try to make a place where things can be fair for one. You're... Asuka. Oh my god. A few silly rules? Girl, you almost ruined all of those kids' lives. They would have been worse off if I just left them in those awful situations. I wanted to give them somewhere where they could just be happy, where they'd finally have a proper family, where they could be free to be themselves. But they weren't ever fully free, were they? You gave them a world where they could be happy, sure, but it was just trapping as their home lives. If they grew up, what options would they have when they were grown up and decided maybe they didn't want to spend their whole lives in your circus? That they wanted something different? Ah, come on, maybe you should lay off them. I'm saying this because I care about you, Asu. This isn't meant to be an attack or anything. But if you spend so much time just letting yourself, just telling yourself that the way you're living is the right way for you, if you stay so stubborn, you'll never really grow. You'll end up hurting people and becoming the very thing that hurt you as a kid. You'll just be perpetuating it. I'm saying this because I care about you, Asu. This isn't meant as an attack or anything. And I don't want that to happen to you. You don't deserve to have to deal with that. I'd never do that. I could never be like that. You need a reality check here. If you put yourself above all of us and refuse to see any faults in your actions, you're going to end up being resented eventually, or resenting yourself, or resenting all of us for being so awful in comparison to you. I want you to snap out of this shit, Asu. See things for how they are. I want you to grow. Because God knows if anyone here is going to grow, it's going to be you. And as your friend, I don't want to lose you or see you go too extreme with it. But I won't! I'm just trying to do what's best here. I'm trying to fix things. I'm not letting anyone get left behind this time. Asu, you're not dumb. Come on, you should know better than anyone. As Ara said that first part, Asuka seemed to pause for a moment, suddenly growing more quiet. Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, I care about you a lot, and I don't want to see you get worse. I'm sure you feel the same about me or Zeke, or really anyone here. So please, just think about it, okay? An awkward silence befell everyone, only broke when Allura cleared her throat. Well, I'm sure we can have more discussions another day. For now, I believe it may be best to put all the energy we have right now into something more productive. Right, let's just delegate today's tasks and get to it. I'd rather not have to dwell on this for too long. Further elaboration can wait. Some of these things are best discussed in private, after all. Ismene's gaze moved over to me for a moment, apprehension clear in her expression. If she didn't hate me before, I was almost certain she hated me now. Right, first and foremost, Cersei, you and I will be attending to the crops in the courtyard again. Oh, wonderful. Farming duty for the third day in a row. Well, if you're so against it, I could always instead assign you elsewhere. Perhaps you'd like to join Elias for his task. No, it's fine, that's quite alright. Enriching farming, yummy. Oh, so looking forward to it. Yum, yum, yum. I love the dirt and the worms. Maybe it'll give you a taste of the lives of the people your family drained their fortune from. Elias, that's enough. Any further discussion of the matter will result in punishment. I do not want to use the tools I have been granted by this motive, but I will if I have to. Pointless infighting isn't going to be of any help to anyone. I'd much rather you all resent me than be recklessly endangering yourselves to protect your own egos. Jesus, we get it. And I thought Zee and Azu were on a power trip. Excuse me, do not make me regret my decision today. What decision? Even you two have seemed to make progress in resolving your previous dispute. I am tentatively resolving to have you and Chattel work together to be on washing and cleaning duty today. Putting Zeke on washing again? He got distracted yesterday, yes, but I'm hoping he'll have learned his lesson this time and be more focused. Doesn't really matter to me what I'm doing. I can be scrubbing, Zeke can be on getting the water running. Can't touch the taps myself after all. You two can distribute the labor however you'd like, as long as you get it done. Hell yeah, we're gonna get it done. Those stains won't know what's coming. Didn't have that attitude yesterday. And Saint Hill, Kutsuke, you two will stay here in the canteen and focus on the preservation efforts. Saint Hill had previous experience with drawing, and there's only a few things left to can or pickle, so that'll be your aim for today. If you manage to complete your work quickly, I'd like to test how good the flour is for bread. If either of you could attempt to make a loaf, that would be wonderful. I'm not really much of a baker. I can teach you, don't worry. Do, 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 do. It takes a bit, but that's alright. We've got a lot to talk about after all. I don't know why, but despite Asuka's small smile, those words seemed a little ominous. I couldn't help but feel a bit uneasy. Yeah, of course. Now that's all settled, I'll see you all here again in a few hours. Good luck, everyone. I trust you all will stay on task today. All who oppose Sugi shall fall. Everyone dissipated from the meeting, leaving just me and Asuka alone in the canteen. Most of the food that could be canned or charred had already been. Even if it wasn't the most ideal to live off of canned goods, it was better than nothing. But it was clear our consumption of food far outweighed our production of it, even with the rationing in place. But more worrying than our food situation was Asuka, who seemed to be weirdly on edge. There's so many things preserved, I don't know if half of this stuff is even going to taste good being pickled or jarred like this. It's edible, and I think that's the only thing that'll matter to her. Some things just aren't meant to last forever. They weren't designed for it. Tell that to her. I think she'd jar humans if she could. Let's not be unfair on her. I don't think it was very fair to make the decision to end Taka's life without thinking about what he wanted. But I guess we're pretty picky and choosy about who we decide to treat fairly, huh? A lot of tension coming from Asuka. It did put me a little bit on edge, admittedly. Anyway. I think that's the last of the cans. So we should move on to seeing what we can do with the flour. Jeez, I can't get my head around these meal plans. There's almost no protein in them, and we're gonna feel tired all day. Huh, that's weird. She wrote down the ingredients for a cake today and crossed it out. I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but I don't know if a cake is the best use of our resources right now. It's not like it's any special kind of day, it's just March 3rd. Asuka seemed to pause, a realization spreading across her face. It would have been Taka's birthday. Asuka? Oh! Is everything okay? Asuka paused for a moment and looked to the side. Do you think Allura meant it? Meant what? That she was willing to exert force if it meant it would keep us safe? I mean, her threats with Zeke when it came to Lyra's dosage seemed pretty empty. But she still punished you and Zeke for not doing your task. She took away your food. If you ask me, Shinku, it feels like she's letting more and more of this get to her head. It wouldn't surprise me if she used those handcuffs to lock off some rooms, or we just did something drastic soon. You really think so? Don't give me that. I know you talked to her. There was something different about how you looked at her today. Plus, you walked in with her, not from the direction of the cells or anything, but from the bottom entrance to the canteen. Meaning you two were on the west side of the prison together. What were you guys doing there that early in the morning? It can't have been the washing. That room has been locked off. We were just in the medicine storage for a bit. She was asking me about some things. I really just think she's stressed out about everything. I hope she's better than letting this get to her head, or well, even if she does, at least she has good intentions behind it. She clearly just wants to keep us all alive. She wants us to be safe. But her idea of safe is restricted. She decide her way is the best way. She said she'd keep all of our input in mind, but at the end of the day, she's making all the decisions by herself. Nothing we say does anything. She's just deciding what's best for us. Just like she did for... But you're doing the exact same thing, Asuka. Mouth was dry. I'm not! You are. You're just assuming Allura is out to get us. You're positioning yourself as someone who inevitably knows what's better for us. You're trying to decide for all of us what we should think about Allura, and you're ostracizing anyone who doesn't agree with you. Why shouldn't you be apprehensive about her? You've seen what she's done. If her past decisions involved deciding Taka was better off dead, then how are we meant to believe her idea of keeping us all safe is really going to keep us alive? Because it's clear she regrets what she did to Taka. She wants to move past it. If she regretted it so much, she'd move the stupid thing from her ear that she chose over him in the first place. But in the end, being comfortable is more important to her than actually taking accountability. You're the same, you know. You'd rather have the comfort of the familiar, of just knowing what she wants instead of stepping up and making those decisions for yourself. No wonder you're so quick to side with her over me. I was the one who spoke out for you with your truths. I told people to be reasonable and patient with you. I'm trying to help you here, Shinko. I don't know why you're taking her side so constantly. I'm not taking sides here. I'm just trying to... I don't care what you're trying to do. I just don't want you stopping us no... when we do need to act against her, if you hesitate for so long, if you stay on that fence, you're just going to get someone seriously hurt or killed again. Is that what you want? You let them down over and over again. This is your one chance to get it right this time. If you hesitate, if you ignore the warning signs, if you're not diligent, if you just follow your biases again, then I'll never forgive you. Even if you step in and try to make things right when it's too late, try to rectify things however you can, I won't forgive you. Because it'll be your fault things got that bad in the first place. It'll be all your fault. Asuka, I don't think this is about... Asuka just looked at me for a moment, staring intensely before looking away. Let's just make this stupid dough. Yeah, it's just flour and water, right? Add some yeast, and that's basically the gist of it. Gee, we don't have more flour. You guys have a lot of wheat. Is this really all the flour that came out of it? Yeah, it's a little crazy how little you get out of it compared to how big it starts out. Asuka measured out the flour and grabbed a jug to measure out the water, the two of us working in relative silence. I get the impression Asuka had something else they wanted to say, but was just trying to find the right moment. I hated the feeling of anxious anticipation that filled in the air as they began to knead the dough. But when they finally opened their mouth again, I wanted nothing more than to crawl back into the anxiousness of uncertainty of the seconds prior. I'm sorry about your sister. I don't know what the circumstances were, or what you did, or how much your actions were twisted on the truth, but I hope, if nothing else, you're able to learn from it. It just feels wrong getting to grow and move and change while she's now stuck in time forever. I get that. It's different, but I used to feel guilty about leaving my brother behind. I should have done more to get him out of that situation as well. I should have gone back to get him. I thought I had no right to complain about how he treated me after I left him behind. But deep down, I think I always hated how he treated me. I don't think I ever forgave him for it. I spent years just having to suck it up and be the bigger person whenever he did something cruel or mean. Just 'cause I was a year older, I had to act like nothing was wrong. When I made my new world, when I made somewhere I could finally be happy, where I could have the family I thought I always wanted, I guess I was scared that if I went back to get him, he'd mess it up. Or he'd hate me as much as he'd want me to come, as much as he'd want to come with me. I couldn't stand the idea of someone thinking that they were better off staying in that sort of situation than staying at my circus. And I didn't want to risk that rejection. So I told myself to just move past it and do things better in the future. And did it get rid of the feeling? Did you ever stop feeling guilty? I'd like to think I did. But in the end, I just ended up feeling more guilty than I was able to be living so well compared to him. I felt selfish. Life moves on, so you've got to move on with it. New people will depend on you and need you, and you have to be sure not to let them down. But if you go forward without looking back at all, you'll just be repeating the same mistakes, won't you? You're one to talk about that. And so are you. We finished off the dough and left it to prove. In the time we had left before we all reconvened, we helped prepare the small rationed lunch Allura had planned for us all to have today. The bread wasn't going to be ready to bake for a while, but I was sure we could have it at dinner. I was a little concerned with how much energy Asuka had to need it. It felt like I did very little work in the grand scheme of things. But it felt like everyone was a little apprehensive to challenge Asuka these days, especially with how snippy and short-tempered the lack of food was making everyone. Oh, I can save here. Should I stop here? I feel like I probably should. Fuck it. Nah. There's a little bit left. There's another, part. Another save point pretty soon. Good work for today. As far as I'm aware, everyone stayed on track and didn't stray from their tasks. Let's keep this sort of work ethic and cooperation going for the foreseeable future. I'd really rather not use force to exert my wooden privileges, and that's completely and entirely necessary. Dude, you're the one who keeps bringing it up to get us to stay in line. Considering the rising tensions amongst the group, I feel it's necessary to keep order. You didn't have to bring it up that time. Yeah, whatever you tell yourself is necessary. Either way, those stains didn't stand a chance against me and La. We scrubbed that shit faster than the government doing a cover-up. Cleaned the whole showers, too. So we're basically the most productive people in the prison, anything to thank us. Isn't there a janitor who's meant to do that? Well, all the cleaning supplies were hardly touched, so who knows what the fuck he's doing? Knocking us out. Probably just complaining that no one wants to sleep with him, knowing what he's like. You really didn't have to join us for lunch. Don't mention it. I like to keep in touch with my prisoners. No, really, we don't particularly want you here. Either way, I'm starving. Ozzy, did you finish that bread yet? Still gonna take a bit to prove, but it'll be ready for dinner. We managed to get everything else charred, though. Excellent. Me and Cersei tended to the crops. They seem to be doing well. I'm hoping we'll have something to harvest by the time we've eaten through our remaining supplies. Don't know what we'll do if we don't. Frogs are a delicacy in France. I'd start breeding them if I was you, bowhead. We're not eating the frogs, no way! It wouldn't be the worst thing you'd done by any means, would it? I mean, even putting your main crime aside, kidnapping isn't exactly the most moral thing to do, no matter how you frame it. That's enough. It's best for everyone that we don't discuss the truth unless absolutely necessary. Let's try to end this meeting on a high note. I believe everyone has earned some time to themselves. Take it easy this afternoon, and we can reconvene once more for dinner. I will, however, be on patrol in case someone has a lapse in judgment and believes that starting pointless conflict over the truths is in any way productive at this current time. I really don't think that would be necessary, Allura. I'm not willing to take any risks at this stage, especially with the pre-existing tensions between some of you. I hate to agree with her, but all it takes is, at this stage, is one to hear the other breathing for shit to start between Zeke and Iz. Not my fault she keeps saying stupid shit. It's a wonder someone hasn't gotten sick of her shit already and killed her. Ezekiel. Oh, please, if Ezekiel hasn't had the guts to kill me by now, he's not going to. It doesn't matter what I have to say about his, well, let's be polite and say his history of attachment issues. Want to test that diamond mines? Well, at least that's out of my control. As far as I'm concerned, feeling that way about matching horrific injuries is all on you. Shut the hell up. You're one to speak on attachment issues considering all that shit with your fiancé and your weird fucking nymph fantasies. Sick perv. Oh well, forgive me that mine aren't as biblical as yours. But considering the subject matter, they're rather far from holy, are they not? That's homophobic. The hell are you implying? I think your preferences are more than clear, Elias. Elias? Well, isn't just a fine example of textbook projection, huh? You're one to talk, you. I have half a mind to believe that being sent to all-boys boarding school was the best thing that ever happened to you. Before Smitty could speak any further, Ezekiel practically launched at her, grabbing her hair and tugging her towards him. Ow! Hey! You bitch! Want to see what happens if you keep running your mouth? Think you can tell me something I don't already know? Zeke, stop! This isn't what they want! This is what they want! Come on! I don't give a shit at this stage if someone as pathetic as me dies, and I'll take you with me if I have to. I've got the guts for it, don't test me! Zeke, what the fuck are you doing? Get off her. You're better than this shit. Make me. I'm no better than anyone here. If this doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. Is this shitty enough for you, huh? Get off me once. Christ, I'm sorry. What's gotten into you? Make me. Fight back. Why the hell aren't you doing anything, Isabel? Sign me. Come on, choke me. God damn it. Why are you the only one? Why are you only being the bigger person now? Do something. What on earth are you talking about, Ezekiel? Back off. I'm sorry, alright? For goodness sake. Both of us deserve to. Come on. You deserve to go. Come on. Let's show them just the kind of fucked up excuses for people that are benefiting from this shit-ass system. Show them just how screwed up we are. Don't act like you're fucking reasonable now of all times. Don't piss me off. You're not allowed to be. Neither of us are. Not after everything if I can't grow, neither can you. Oh, no, that's a sorry excuse if I've ever heard one. Ezekiel, let's not be ridiculous here. We're both bad people, but there's no reason we cannot change. If the whole system is rotten to its core, the only way to change is removing every rusting fucking cog. Starting with us. Zeke moved his hand to take further action against Smitty, but before he could, Allura quickly grabbed his arm and shoved the handcuffs on him. Elias, that is more than enough. Do not make me sedate you. Oh, now the veil's off, huh? Happy to be all controlling as long as you're not the worst here. I knew it. You're speaking nonsense. I'm going to detain you in your cell for a few hours until dinner. Until you've calmed down. Calm down? Did you hear the shit she was saying? You attacked her! Did you see how you were acting? What were you saying? What you were saying? You're really only working to prove my point here. It's safe to keep on the lookout and save any potential discussions about the truths for regulated groups meetings, where everyone is present. Is that reasonable? No one stepped up to say no, but no one seemed particularly happy about this either. There was an uneasy feeling amongst the group, but we were mostly shocked about Ezekiel's outburst. Good. I'll see you all at dinner. Elias, you're coming with me. We all slowly made our way out of the canteen under the watchful eye of Allura. There was a certain distance about her now I couldn't quite describe. Either way, it was best to keep myself busy to distract myself from the hunger. I didn't want to particularly dwell on the current situation. I was concerned for Allura, but I wasn't certain how much she was willing to hear from me at this stage. And I was similarly concerned with Ismene. Even if we weren't talking, I was worried that she'd gotten hurt. But despite her continuing her usual pettiness with Ezekiel, I was a little surprised at how resistant she was to what he was saying. It really made me wonder how she'd been doing. I knew I couldn't know for sure, but I hope she was doing well. Alright. Well, I will see you all next time. Guess we'll find out how Ismene's doing. Bye-bye!